Welcome to the Barker Podcast Collection.
I suck, you suck, I suck at Call of Duty. You suck. You suck. You suck.
Welcome to the Not Playing Podcast. My name's Rob Howard, and this week I'm joined by
Iain Bruce.
And Adam Scott. Hello.
Iain and Adam. You've been playing Overwatch, right? How's that working out?
Oh, it's awesome pants, in my opinion. I love it.
Awesome pants.
Well, I mean, if you were wearing a pair of pants and you were saying, this is the most amazing pair of pants that I've ever worn,
Yep. They would be awesome.
Really bad analogy for Overwatch.
They would be awesome pants.
They would be awesome pants.
They would be comfortable, like pants you've worn previously.
Yeah, they would be. And they'd be easy to put on.
Yes.
But every time you put them on, you think, I could wear these a different way.
Yes.
And they would still be awesome.
And any opportunity, really, from the sound of the amount of hours you've put in?
I have put in a stupid amount of hours into this game for me. I think I'm currently somewhere around. Hang on a second. It's irrelevant. But I put quite a lot of hours in, mainly because the matches last about 10 minutes.
They are glorious.
Maybe. They're quite short,
Yeah.
and because they're short, I can fit a lot of them in little downtime. So sometimes I'm able to get a match in before I leave for work in the morning if I get up a bit early. Sometimes I can because it's not hugely demanding. I can actually run it on my computer at work. So I actually play it at my lunch breaks.
Wow.
as well.
Jesus, cool. Okay.
Cool.
And yeah, I'm the operations director. I can do what I like. But I play at my lunch breaks.
I will tell you the answer to that in exactly 15 minutes.
Rob,
Yeah, exactly.
when you do the edit,
Leave
could
that
you
with
just,
me. I'll come right back to you.
Could you just take the operations director bit out and put in head of the beaches?
If you, yeah, well, I can use that.
If only I
sample
had even remotely
and-
something like that power, it would be great.
I am
but-
only head of the beaches.
I'm on the end of the beaches. But the fact is, because they're short games, I can get a match in and then carry on with other stuff. And so I've actually been able to. I can't play games which require a heavy sort of emotional narrative investment in those kind of time frames. So those are the games that otherwise I love playing. But Overwatch, I can slap it on. Even things like Battlefield and stuff, when I used to play that, they would be 20, 25 minutes. That would mean I'd have to allocate some time to do it. Overwatch, some games are over in 5 minutes if you're playing particularly well. But yes, I've managed to invest an awful lot of time into it because I just find it intensely enjoyable. There are 21 heroes, I think, at the moment, in these 4 different classes, and each of them is, some of them I play better with than others. Some of them are, I really don't enjoy very much, but all of the heroes I can play and feel like I'm contributing, as long as because a lot of it is about knowing how the characters interact with each other, rather than being an absolute elite uber nerd on every single hero. So I've got 3 or 4 heroes that I try and play often, normally 1 or 2 from each class.
Which are?
So you've got attack heroes, and I normally play Farah in that. I love playing this.
Me too.
She has a record pat. She flies, and she fires rockets down from above, and she is awesome source. I play Tracer as well a bit, not as good as Farah.
Yeah, I like Tracer.
I like tanking, and I play Reinhardt, which is kind of almost obligatory in some matches. And Zarya is the other one I like playing, the Russian strongwoman, because she's actually more of a support tank. She excels at rushing forward. She blasts us. She runs into enemy fire. She blasts a field up. When she gets a bubble around her, any damage this energy bubble that lasts 2 seconds takes gets converted into increased power on her weapon. So the more damage you take, the harder you hit. So she's all about timing, and you can also fire a bubble on another teammate as well, and any damage they take also transfers to your weapon. So when you don't have any charge, on your weapon, you're actually not hitting that hard. But when you've got 100% charge, you can take down other guys really, really quickly. So with Zarya, it's all about timing and actually just being a nuisance in many cases. But every single character has a different way of playing, and I guarantee that every single person who has got even remote interest in FPS can find at least one or two characters that they can get on with in this game. And I think that's the beautiful thing about it. You don't have to be an elite headshot sniper. There are characters where being like a really good aimer and the kind of normal typical like COD elite players they can get on with. There's even a guy that everyone just calls the COD guy, which is Soldier 76, who's just like an assault rifle firing stuff.
But you can run fast.
But he can run fast, and he can heal his teammates. So he's very much like that. Everyone's got these one or two abilities, which means that But if you're not very good at aiming, there are other things you can do. You can tank. You can fire ballistic stuff. If you're not very good at aiming, but you're good at working out where people are going to be, you can play someone like Junkrat who fires grenades. I love playing Junkrat because he's so good at taking out turrets and things. And
you can create turrets.
You can create turrets.
I think I found my character. There's like a little dwarfy dude,
Torbjorn,
who can build the turrets and and do the stuff. But there's a character I found today that I had seen other people using, which is called Bastion, I think, as Rob just said.
Yeah.
Which turns himself into a turret, and once your super-powered doobie thing gets up, you get a little tank thing.
Yeah.
And
everybody hates Bastion.
I heard they might be rebalancing him a little.
Well, I hope not, because I got an eight kill streak with him today for the first time ever.
Well, that's kind of the point. A lot of people get really pissed off about the fact that because at the end of the wonderful things about Overwatch is that at the end of the game there's this play of the game thing. Yeah. Everyone, the game selects a moment that it thinks was the best moment in the game, and often it's Bastion because he sets up as a turret, people run into his field of fire, he holds around left mouse button and absolutely destroys everyone, because when he's in turret mode he hits really fucking hard,
and he can self-heal as well, which is awesome.
He can self-heal, so everyone hates Bastion.
However, Bastions can be on either side. So when I played today and got an 8 kill streak, the other team had a Bastion as well.
Yeah.
So you were a better Bastion.
Thank you. You're a Bastion.
The thing is,
We're all
Bastion can be
Bastions.
countered. The trick about this game is you don't pick one hero and stay with it in the match.
Yeah.
As the game evolves, because the thing is that there's lots of maps where you have to take a point, and then after that you have to escort a payload, for instance. So you might need one team composition to assault the point, and it might be very tank heavy. But you're really close to your spawn, so you may not need a healer quite so often.
Yeah.
But you just need to be able to really push the point. And then as soon as you've got the point, you've then got to escort the payload a long way to get to the end point. And when you get to the payload to the end point, then you win the game. So at that point, your healing becomes more important. And the other team may move from like perhaps more agile stuff, trying to counter flankers and so on, to getting more heavy hitters, more tanks to try and defend the point. And the thing is, the teams that succeed are the teams that can read the enemy composition better and adjust their composition to match.
Yeah.
You've got to adapt in this game. If you stick on one character all the way through, then all that's going to happen is someone else is going to work out, oh, right, well, he's just doing that, I'll just play Bastion and counter him all the fucking way.
Yeah.
Or I'll just play Widowmaker and take out all his turrets. Or, every character has a counter. Knowing what your counter is half the tactics of the game. And it really is the kind of game where the good thing is about it is because you don't have to... some awareness of the other characters is really what helps win, but many characters have got quite a... I never get this the right way around. Skill ceiling, skill floor. I can never remember which way it is. But what I'm trying to say is a lot of characters are very easy to pick up and play with, and contribute in a meaningful way. It's really a lot of time it's just being sensible about how you can best contribute to the team, and realizing that this, more than many other games, especially games in the Battlefield and COD arena, is objective based, and not killed KD ratio. Yeah.
But one of the interface is beautiful for Overwatch.
It's lovely.
Absolutely
beautiful.
Delicious. And whenever you choose a new character, F1, you get all what the keys do, what the different powers, what you can do with that character. because I have found it quite intimidating having that many characters available when I've really only got maybe 10 or 12 hours in it at the moment. But what I like about the character selection stuff is you can do it anytime that you die, and whenever you go to do it, I think, it says, your team does not have enough defence. Your team does not have enough of this. So if you're new, you don't get, I'll have the pretty one, or I'll have the robot.
Yeah.
It's helping you and guiding you with the non-battle COD stuff that it has, because while it is extremely, it's similar to TF2 or Brink or any of these slightly more objective-based multiplayer arena games, it is its own thing, really. I think because of this massive array of characters, where you're basically, it's like you're playing a card game.
But the good thing is, you don't just have 6 or 8 classes and you've got exact mirrors on the other side. Every character plays differently. Although they are grouped into 4 groups, assault, defense, support and tank, every single character plays completely differently to another character. So you can, while there are roles to fill, you don't run into I'm a better engie than you because there are only 2 engineer classes in the game. It's not the same kind of thing. It's like, well, okay, I might be better at this, but I'm not so good at that, so maybe I'll try and take this character instead. And my God, the polish is great. I mean, no game is free of bugs, but it's a Blizzard game.
Do you find when it indicates that you are needing more defense, do you find that there is a particular character that skill set is more appropriate for a different kind of match, or do you think it's more just a personal preference?
I think it is. A lot of it is down personal preference, but a lot of it is, there are some characters that do better on some maps than others. For instance, there's a support character called Symmetra. And what she does is she places these little ball turrets around, right? And she's also got this like ray gun that locks on to a target, and as long as you're kind of in line of sight, it'll keep onto them and continue doing damage, and it builds up charge over time. And she's much better at defense than she is on attack, because the point is, what you want to do is you want to lure guys. These little turrets, they're little ball turrets, they've only got like 1 health. Anything will kill them. But the idea is that you set 3 or 4 of them up within certain choke points or through doorways or whatever, and you kind of lure them in, or you estimate or you guess where they're going to come, and you lay little traps for them. So you can run them through, and you can place them really quickly. So if you're doing a running defense, you can run past, place a turret, like within a second, and then try and lure someone that's chasing you into the turret's path. But she doesn't do. You can't play her if you're. Well, you can, but she doesn't do too well on attack. There are more useful heroes to play on attack. So there are some maps, for instance, where Farah, who's my favourite attack character, does better than others. Farah does really well if there's lots of tie buildings so you can flip between or hide behind round corners, because she's got these jump jets so she can kind of float and hover in the air as well as doing like a big jump. It's on a cooldown, but these are her abilities. So if she can hover up and then fly across like a narrow street, for instance, and rain down rockets from above, and while the people are trying to get hold of her, she can then fly behind cover around another building. But there are other maps where it's far too open to do that, and as soon as you go up in the air, you're a big skyborne target, and everyone can take you out. So, but again, the maps aren't the whole thing, because it kind of depends on the enemy composition. If I've got an enemy that's completely ground-based, or has only got people like Junkrat, who's the guy that fires the grenades, Farah's a godsend. She just flies up really high and just rains down rockets, and nobody can really touch her. Or if they can, because some weapons have bullet drop-off and some don't, then it depends on the heroes the opposition are playing. And this is why, as you play the game a bit more, you understand what works with what, or what counters what. And that really is more than be able to land a headshot at 20 paces, or be able to easy no scope 360 you noobs. None of that is really that important in this game. What is important is the fact that if someone's raining down horror on you as Widowmaker, who's the sniper, okay, fine, I'll just change to Winston, who's the big ape that leaps everywhere. I'll leap up to a position and bash 7 bells of shit out of her. Because once you're in close, she's not quite as effective as she is with a sniper rifle. And that it's knowing when to change up and who to change to is the real skill that comes with this game.
Cool.
But it's beautiful. I mean, the thing is, when you hit the when you take people out and they're bouncing all over the place and there are explosions and thinking people off, it's, oh my god, I haven't played a game where my heart beated so hard in my chest for years. I really haven't had it.
For that side of it, it reminds me of Team Fortress Classic, where it's
exactly.
Holy fuck, everything has now changed. What are we going to do?
Yeah,
and I do find that really fucking annoying when I just want to have a good game of something, but I think I'm just being impatient. And I played it for a few hours today, to be honest.
Yeah,
I shouldn't have been at work. I was off today, and once it was confirmed to me that it is a fluid game and you will play different characters all the way through if you want to win. Played some really great games.
Yeah,
some with some players much higher level than me, and we were all GGing and high-fiving each other at the end, even when we'd lost, because it was coming down to the wire. It was seconds to get that thing over the line. It was just really exciting.
I think that's one of the good things about it. A lot of people complain about the matchmaking system. I found it's been pretty good. My win rate is about 55-60% tops. That's the best it's been. But normally I'm hovering around 50%, which is kind of where it ought to be, because what it's supposed to be doing is patching it doesn't just take into account your level.
Yeah.
Right. So you're not just going to get placed with people that are the same level as you. It will see your win rate. It will see how good you are with people. It will see how often you leave games early. And it will try and match you with players of approximately about the skill. I don't think, I don't, other people have complained about the matchmaking. I haven't really had too much of a problem with it. But what I have found is I've had an awful lot of matches where it has gone down to the wire. It's gone down to, a frantic defense on the last point where they're trying to push the payload in. You're watching the count go down. When the timer runs out, if there is an enemy on the objective or near the payload or whatever, it goes into overtime, right? And then when it gets to overtime, you've got this burning fuse that goes down if there's no one near it. And as soon as an attacker gets back on the objective, the overtime counter goes back up again. I've had some games where the overtime has lasted longer than the actual match, because if you can play it right. A character like Tracer, for instance, who's the one that can zip around. You've played Tracer, haven't you, Rob?
Yeah.
So Tracer can zip in and out. She does like this time travel thing. So she can zip in and out and blink. So she's excellent at maps where you're in overtime, because she can hop onto the point, right, reset overtime and hop off again and go off and hide and wait for the burners to come down and then come back in while she's waiting for the rest of her team to run back from the spawn.
I feel I should be taking notes.
Well, mate, those kind of matches, I thought I was going to have a heart attack the other night. I was sweating. Because it was, and I haven't felt like that in years.
No, and me neither. And that's the main thing, really. I was very sceptical of it the first couple of times because it was so much like the other games it's like. But now, after the games I've had today and some of the stuff you've just said, it does feel like they're manipulating the gameplay so you have these mad, frantic moments basically every game, and not just once in the game at the end, but for each of the objectives.
Yep.
I had a couple of games today where we were seconds away from losing at each objective, and we did it. But it wasn't. We weren't pushing them; they were pushing us. We ran out of time. We did this. And I think
there's so many opportunities for you to pull it out of the bag at the very last second.
Yes,
and I think that is a credit to Blizzard's game design as far as this is concerned, because they have clearly engineered the gameplay so that those kind of things happen all the time. Because it's happened to me. One of the reasons why I love this game so much is because that happens to me so bloody often. Yeah. That we do go down the wire. The overtime mechanic works in, and there's a lot of people saying, "Well, if we're better than you, we should win all the time." Well, if you're better than me, then you would have won. Because it's not about you being better than me. It's about being better than the team I'm playing. That's really what it comes down to. It's 6 people reading the terrain and making the right choices at the right time, as well as obviously a modicum of personal skill within certain heroes. But I've sometimes played heroes I really suck with because I knew we needed them. I'm terrible with Widowmaker, but there was a point where there was a turret that no one was taking care of, so I just changed the Widowmaker just so I could take out the turret from out of the turret's range, and that won us the point. But I couldn't hit a fucking barn door with anybody else running around everywhere. But a turret that stays still, I can do that. But it was a question of I made the right choice at the right time, and those kind of things win the game. So there have been some criticisms of the game. Lots of the really competitive guys saying that the tick rate of the servers are far too slow, and you can get shot around the walls and stuff. And why should it appeal to casuals? This game will be dead in 3 months because it doesn't. The competitive thing hasn't even been released yet, and the usual kind of bullshit you get with super tryhards.
Yeah.
And I understand that. Actually, I'm going to give the competitive stuff a go because I think actually, more than many other games that have been released in recent times, I think if you can get the teamwork working in this, I think it will be a joy. Because I've been steamrolled. I've been steamrolled by teams who are clearly working together, and it's just unstoppable. I mean, when you're just playing in a pub and a load of randoms, and some people are actually, even 3 or 4 guys are working together,
Yep.
you've got no fucking chance. And I kind of think, well, it wasn't very nice being on the receiving end of that, but imagine 2 teams doing the same thing, coordinating their ultimate abilities and everything.
I mean, that is how most multiplayer games work. If you have a team working as a team, even in the more simple is not the most unoffensive word to use, but even in the simpler games, if you have a team like CTF on Quake, if you have a defence, a midfield, and forwards, that's it. You've won basically, because you're not all kicking the ball around the field like kids in primary school. Yeah. And that's what I like about this, because even with the pugs, actually, it felt like people were adapting to what was required. And I've not really seen a game.
Most things.
I've not really seen a game that has done that. Even the lower level players were going, right, well, I can't do that as that person. I will change. And after a couple of games, you realise, right, the objective has now changed. I need to change how I'm going to play this.
There is, I think that's true. Most, you're either going to get, people will either get Overwatch and the mechanics behind it, or they won't, I think. I mean, some people will say, well, I like the sniper, so I'm going to play the sniper. She's got a nice arse, so I can play that. But I think, there are times when playing all of one hero it's kind of funny. It doesn't really work. There was a video on Reddit of there's this great big ape character called Winston. You may have seen him, but he could, one of his abilities is being able to launch himself like with a jet assisted thing. And there's this one map where there's this choke point with a doorway that's a real nightmare to get through. And 6 Winstons came launching over the top. It was like Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Just these 6 Winstons come launching over the top, and you must think, Jesus, that looks fucking terrifying.
I imagine you must get a few things like that quite late
I think they got
torn
apart by all the turrets that were set up, because there were like 3 Torbjorns in the same map. But
Torbjorn versus Winston.
Valiant effort for them. But so I think personally for me, Overwatch is reinvigorating gaming for me. I just absolutely love it.
It is.
It's great to hear you so fired up about something, mate.
Definitely.
I haven't been this fired up about a game for a long time.
Yeah, it's cool. It's great.
Cool. No, great stuff.
Thanks, Blizzard.
Yeah, they can do no wrong at this stage, can they? Apart from, I don't know. Yeah, what are they going to? What genre will they destroy next? Or,
they should do a zombie walking simulator.
It would be the finest walking ever made. This has been the Not Playing Podcast in partnership with notlistening.co.uk, where you can also hear myself and Iain talk about movies and TV on the Not Watching Podcast, and Adam, Ash and Will, not that one, talk about all manner of funny things on the Not Listening Podcast.
Why am I that one?
You're not that one.
And his name's not Will either.
Not that one. Honestly, you make me sound like some kind of fucking turd.
I was just trying to beat you to it.
Someone needs a hug.
You can email us at notplayingpodcast@gmail.com, or you can tweet at or follow us on Twitter at notplayingpod. You can find the show notes for this show at notlistening.co.uk, and if you're listening to us on iTunes, then please do give us a review. Anyway, that's all for now. Thanks for listening. See ya.
Goodbye.
My friend, I'm inclined to agree, 'cause I suck